Call this meeting to order, the Blackhawk County Board of Supervisors for November 27, 2018. Roll call, Mr. Beater.
Leyland.
Here.
Little.
Here.
Magsman.
Here.
Schwartz.
Here.
White.
Here, have a moment of silence to reflect on our actions of the day. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Have the agenda received as proposed?
So moved.
We have, we're going to rescind
Second.
8B, and we're going to not have a report from Ben Delegardelle, so 7A and 8B are off the table for today. 8B, the gentleman rescinded his bid. It was the wrong property he bid on. I have a motion and a second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Public comments. Anybody from the public that'd like to comment about anything other than what's on the agenda for today? Seeing none, moving on to claims and payments. This resolution, Board of Supervisors approve expenditures for the county.
County's expenditures this week total $163,736.10, 163,736.10.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? This resolution, please answer as your name is called.
Leyland.
Yes.
Little.
Yes.
Magsman.
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yes.
White.
Yes, resolution adopted. Next is a resolution that the Board of Supervisors approve expenditures for Country View Care Facility.
The expenditures that will be paid today for Country View total $35,772.91, 35772.91. Still holding approximately $281,000 for October benefits due to the county, and their bank balance this morning was approximately $538,000.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? This resolution, please answer as your name is called.
Little.
Yes.
Magsman.
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yes.
Leyland.
Yes.
White.
Yes, resolution adopted. Next is receive project updates from department heads and elected officials. Morning, Kathy.
Good morning, Board. Kathy Nicholas, County Engineer. Could I please have the screens on? I just wanted to give you a brief update on an activity that our bridge crew was working on last week.
You're here, Rory?
Yeah, so last week, or over the past month, our bridge crew has been working on a small structure on Gresham Road. So this is in the northeast portion of the county. And this is the before condition. You can see it was a small, short bridge with failing timber pile. And we decided it was time for replacement. So last winter, the bridge crew, our 4-person crew, they built new slabs in the one of our shops at Longfellow. We built these four new beams, and then we took them out on site last week. And we hire Emerson Crane. This is now one of our cranes. This is a locally owned crane vendor contractor. We hired them to set the 4 beams out on site. First we set the 2 middle beams, and then you can see the outside slabs or beams have been set there as well. And I guess this photo should have come before because it was the beam prior, the 3rd beam set, and then this is the last beam set. And then this week our bridge crew will be installing the guardrail on both sides of the structure, backfilling in front of the beams, of course, getting some compaction. And then we're hopeful that by mid next week, the bridge, the small structure, should be back and reopened again. And we're hoping to complete 2 of these small structures next year. That's in our plan to replace 2 bridges next
How
year.
old was that bridge?
Do you know, Ryan? Probably the 50s or 60s would be common for us.
Probably there's a lot of traffic, is there?
Not on that road. That bridge was posted prior, some of them were posted structures.
Okay.
That bridge also
Which two are scheduled, Kathy, for next year?
One of them is
Ryan.
on Cotter Road south of Miller Creek, and the other is on Washburn Road, west of Mansboro.
Thank you.
Kathy, did you say what the cost of this bridge was?
I can't tell you that cost right now, but by the code of Iowa, the state, the local forces work that we can do, it's supposed to be approximately $85,000 to $90,000 a year. We're supposed to keep it under that threshold. We try very hard to keep it close to that. Right now, we don't know all the costs yet for these structures, but we've been running very close to the upper limit of that threshold for these bridge replacements.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. Any other department heads or elected officials? Moving on to minutes approved for November 20th, 2018.
So move.
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Consent agenda by resolution.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion on any of the items? This resolution, please answer your name is called.
Magsman?
Yes.
Schwartz?
Yes.
Leyland?
Yes.
Little?
Yes.
White?
Yes, resolution adopted. Next to the resolution at the best bid received from Mark Mangrich, releasing county-owned property parcel formerly known as 5407 Wyden Road with a bid of $26.01 to be approved and direct the chair to sign the lease agreement.
Second?
Moved and second. Any discussion on this item? This resolution, please answer your name is called.
Schwartz?
Yes.
Leyland?
Yes.
Little?
Yes.
Magsman?
Yes.
White?
Yes, resolution adopted. Next, the resolution at the lowest reasonable bid received from VJ Engineering for providing ALTA NPS land title survey for the Country View Care Facility with a bid of $11,500 be approved. Direct the chair to sign for same conditional to the receipt of the certificate of insurance.
So moved.
Second?
Moved and seconded. Discussion on this item. Is
Yes.
anyone here from the VJ?
Yes, I have a
We have a question.
question
Questions for
whether,
him?
what the time frame is for completing this project.
In talking with Ryan, it's anticipated that they want to close before the end of the year, so we're going to try to get it done in 2 weeks.
Could you explain just a little bit more, I think, for us and the public of what's
Could you come
involved
up to
in- yeah,
the
if you could-
podium?
what's involved in this type of study?
Hi, I'm Wendell Lupkus with VJ Engineering. Long time ago, I worked for Blackhawk County, but we won't talk about that. A land title survey is, we call it the Cadillac of surveys. We deal with the boundary like we do with any other one, but then we also need to put on paper and verify in the field any easements, encroachments, all improvements. Along with that, there's an optional Table A, so that if you want to know how high the building is, and I think that's checked, if you want to know flood zones and all that. So basically, we go out there and do a physical examination of the boundary and all the title documents that go with it, and put that on paper, and then certify that to the title insurance company, the lender, the buyer, that sort of thing, so.
We had that property surveyed a couple of years ago. Will you be using that information? Or?
Yes, yes. We'll rely on things all the way as far back as the records go, so.
You said you could have it done in 2 weeks.
Well, that's our goal. In talking with Ryan, he asked if there's anything he could do to help. I said, just make sure that it doesn't snow again. Unfortunately, I forgot to tell him that we do have projects in Mahaska County, so I guess what's good for here is not so good for there. But 17 inches, it makes that a little more difficult.
I guess, you know, it is a time-sensitive
Understood.
situation, so we would, as a board, myself at least, would like to see you be able to complete that in a 2-week time period.
I anticipate on being out there this afternoon.
Yeah, might agree. I think it's excellent that you're able and willing to do that.
Well,
for us.
and honestly, we very rarely get clients that come in and say, I'll do this whenever you have time. Usually with real estate closings, almost always it's time sensitive. So,
Well, and we realize this has been time sensitive for us for quite a while, but I know we're putting a kind of undue on you as well, so appreciate anything you can
that's
do to
what we
help
do.
us on this and meet this, so thank you.
all right. Any other questions?
Thank you. I have a motion and a second on the floor. This is a resolution. Please answer as your name is called.
Schwartz. Yes. Leyland.
Yes.
Little.
Yes.
Maxman.
Yes.
White.
Yes, resolution adopted. Next is a resolution that the agreement between Blackhawk County and CenturyLink for the phone system at Country View in the amount of $525 a month be approved.
So moved.
Second. I did have a question on that, though. Was that 525 that was agreed, wasn't that for a 12-month agreement? And
Yes.
it's,
Yes, and originally we thought it was going to be 580, but they did reduce that to 525.
So is this
so do we have to
number
do it?
right here, or the
Yes.
580 is correct, or?
Oh, the 580 is incorrect.
525 is correct.
It should have been changed.
Yeah, 525.
I have 525 on mine, is that?
Yeah.
And if we only do it month to month, we're still all right? Or do we?
So it's a 12-month. We have to sign for a 12-month.
Okay.
I still had 580 on mine.
I have a motion and a second on the floor. This is a resolution. Please answer as your name is called.
Leyland.
Yes.
Little.
Yes.
Maxman.
Yes.
Schwartz. Yes. White.
Yes, resolution adopted. Next, a resolution that the agreement between Blackhawk County and the City of Cedar Falls authorizing the City of Cedar Falls to proceed with adding property within 2 miles of Cedar Falls to the Cedar Falls Unified
So
Highway 58 corridor
Second.
urban renewal area. Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Good morning, Board. Shane Graham with the City of Cedar Falls. It's nice to see a lot of familiar faces here. It's been a while. I've had a chance to visit with the board about this. The City of Cedar Falls is looking to expand its industrial park, and we have come to an agreement to purchase approximately 200 acres of land located just west of the current industrial park. This land is outside of the city limits, though. It's along Viking Road and South Union Road. One of the things that the city would like to do is add this area to our urban renewal plan in order to utilize TIF funding to reimburse the city for when we acquire the property. So the first step to that is to add this area to the urban renewal area, which we can do, but since it's outside the city limits and within 2 miles of another jurisdiction, it does require Blackhawk County Board of Supervisors approval to do so. So we will be closing on on both of these properties in January, and then soon thereafter we'll be proceeding with annexation. So this is just the first step in doing that, and again, we see this as a positive project. We've been seeing some demand for larger industrial sites that we're starting to run out of now, and so we think this will be a good project.
Questions? Yeah.
Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This resolution, please answer as your name is called.
Little.
Yes.
Maxman.
Yes.
Schwartz. Yes. Leyland.
Yes.
White.
Yes, resolution adopted. Number 9, other business, motion to direct the county auditor to advertise for a public hearing to be held at 9:05 December 18th in room 201 Blackhawk County Courthouse
So moved.
on proposed
Second.
FY19 budget amendment. Moved and seconded. Any discussion on this item? Anything you want to add to this, Susan?
No, except that I did ask Colleen if we could just wait till May and see where her budget is at. So we'll just have the health department one that I
I think
emailed
that's
you about,
smart. I think that's smart.
Yeah.
and the capital projects.
Okay. I have a motion and a second on the floor. With no other things. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Motion to direct the county auditor to advertise for a public hearing to be held at 9:05 Tuesday, December 11th, boardroom 201, Blackhawk County Courthouse. Proposed speed zones for Kimball Avenue to establish an appropriate signs be erected at the location. Be approved as recommended by Catherine Nicholas, county engineer. Add speed zone 104 at 45 miles per hour. The Kimball Avenue, also known as V27, intersection Kimball to Waterloo city limits. And add speed zone 105, 55 mile per hour, Kimball Avenue, also known as V27, southbound, with a point of 500 feet south of the intersection of Kimball Avenue with the city Waterloo city limits, south of the intersection of Kimball Avenue and Orange Road.
Pete, is this an ordinance change?
No, it is not.
So this will come to the board as a resolution?
Yes, it's,
We do public hearings for a resolution?
well, this, I recommended it, that, I do not think that's required, but I did recommend it in this situation.
Okay.
We have a motion?
Yep, do I have a motion and a second? All in
So
fa-
moved.
Second.
Kathy, you want to add anything to this?
This is, it's technically not a new speed limit. I've told you in the past how we are encouraged by the DOT and the sheriffs and law enforcement. They like the incremental speed limit going from 55 to 45 to 35 to 25, for example. So this is, would be enacting those speed limits officially in this zone.
Thank you, Kathy. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Next, the motion that the revision to the AED program updating the outdated flow chart be approved as recommended by the Safety Committee.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion on this item?
Deb, are you on the safety committee?
I'm the chair of the safety
Yeah.
committee.
These aren't policies, they're just
These are just programs within our safety
program within the
policy.
safety,
Yep.
okay.
So all of these are just added, so we've been reviewing those and going over them and
Okay.
just have some minor revisions to 4 of them.
Yeah, my concern is if they were a policy, but they're not, they just
They're
follow.
programs within a policy.
Yep.
And there are several employees that serve on this as far as
There are
staff
several of
and
us,
stuff.
yeah. Most of them are, particularly in our key departments, they serve on their internal committees as well. They are involved in training. I've also had, like I said, Chris Downs from OSHA, they have a free consulting service that is separate from the enforcement side because they want to encourage employers not to be afraid, just to reach out and ask questions so they can help you keep your programs on track. So that's a great resource that I've come across, and they've actually expanded the number of consultants they have from 2 to 4 recently, and because people are finding out and they're utilizing it, and so it's been a great service. So I've actually had them review, particularly the HAZCOM one.
Thank you.
Right, thanks.
Thank you. All in favor, aye.
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 Opposed, motion carried. This motion that the revision to the ergonomics program adding minor wording changes under the definitions section for the cumulative trauma disorders section be approved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Motion that the revision to the hazard communication right to know program updated to meet new global harmonized system implemented in 16 be approved as recommended by the Safety Committee.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Motion that the revision to the health and safety program removing name references and phone numbers and adding information about employees' right to access medical records for work injuries be approved and recommended by the Safety Committee.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Next is discussion, possible board action, the approval of service agreement between Blackhawk County and Rapsicon Systems, Torrance, California, in the amount of $4,620 for the courthouse x-ray machine effective December 1st, 2018 through December 30th, or November 30th, 19.
This is what, Rory, the 4th or 5th one?
We actually purchased the existing x-ray machine back in the fall of 2012.
Yeah.
So this would be what, 12, 13?
Well, it's been in the fall, so actually, the service agreement, say 13 of 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
Just about the same amount, pay for a new one.
Yeah, and I wanted to kind of go through that, and that's why we put this on as a discussion, possible board action, because one of the questions that were asked of us was if this existing piece of equipment were to fail, how quickly could we get a new piece or a new x-ray machine here on site? According to, if we were to go through Rapid Scan, and there are other vendors out there, I'm sure, but just looking at this particular piece of equipment through Rapid Scan, if it's in stock, 2 to 3 weeks. So it is a pretty reasonable amount of time to get a new unit here. I will say we spent $29,570 back in 2012, so we would be $30,000 plus for a new unit. If the unit wasn't in stock, they're saying 10 weeks plus. Our contingency plan at that point essentially would be if no x-ray machine was available, guards would literally have to wand packages, items brought in along with persons. So,
Since this machine was new, how many calls have you had on it?
I went back to see what we did in 2017, and we had actually 2018. This year we had 3 calls in. We had a control board go bad back in March. We had a they called the lens board, had to do with the actual X-ray portion of it that had failed. And then we had our PM, our annual PM service that they come. And this is where it concerns me a bit, because that annual PM, I believe, is important because they do the radiation survey of the machine. So that's when they come in and actually go through the machine, make sure there isn't any leakage or that type of things.
Were all 3 of those physical on the site?
Yes, they were. So we also had a quote. We started to notice some minor wear and tear on the belt, not real excessive, but some minor wear and tear. Unfortunately, that is not something that's covered under this service agreement. So we asked what the cost would be to have somebody come, and they're located in California. And it was almost $6,000.
So if you put a call in today for it's down, when do you usually get them?
They're pretty quick to respond, actually. They have quite a few units in the area. So I would say within a week we'd be able to get them here. We really haven't had a problem with response times.
I think it's ridiculous cost each year for that service agreement. But with that said, how can you not go with it?
Well, I agree with you 100%. But what concerns me is that annual PM, I believe, is important on this piece of equipment, given what we're dealing with. Unfortunately, yes, that's approximately 15% of the cost of the machine.
But is there service call if we didn't have it?
Again, it's travel cost. The comparable that I gave you for that belt was almost $6,000. So it would be safe to assume that if we were to call them under outside of a service agreement, it would be in that neighborhood.
Wow.
Yeah.
Roy, when's that scanner need to be replaced? What would be the time frame?
That's a good question. I don't have available right now. I don't have a service life.
I'm just wondering if you purchased a new one and kept this one in backup, would you need the service agreement?
That could be something we can certainly look at.
How much installation is there if you did that?
It would all be, I'm assuming it would be more so in the programming. Once we unhook this device and take it apart, I would imagine that we would have to rely on a rapid scan to be on site to make that connection software-wise.
Now, when we shut that down for remodeling and you put the old one at the other end, did they come out and reboot that one? Or?
Actually, I believe at that time is when we made the transition to the new unit. So we had taken the old one, we had the old one, moved it to the other end, and then we received our new unit once we were ready to open up the entryway. So that would have been part of the installation of that unit.
Have you done any, of course, there's no sense of replacing it if it's working, but have you done any research what a new one costs? You said around 30?
I'm guessing just based on the fact that, it was roughly 5 years ago, we were at almost 30,000. We're going to be in the neighborhood of 30 plus with inflation.
And what do we get for our used one?
We actually had a very difficult time even giving that one away, and we had a outfit actually come and take it, certify where they were going to dispose of it. So it didn't actually go anywhere to be put into use. It went into disposal.
Oh, I thought it was going to another courthouse.
No,
or
we actually had certification papers just to create a paper trail to show how this unit was disposed of.
Any further discussion? Any more questions for? Have a motion and a second on the floor.
Don't think so.
We don't, no.
I'm waiting for one.
Well, this one's working good yet, right?
Yeah, like I said, we are noticing some minor wear and tear in the belt. I wouldn't imagine that belt's gonna fail us anytime soon.
Is that the original belt?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
I don't think we got any choice. I don't like that cost.
I don't either. I really don't. But like I said, there are some safety issues involved with the annual PM, and that's really to outsource that. We're going to be at this cost either way, from what I've discovered. So.
So is that a motion? So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any
Thank
further
you.
discussion? All in favor, aye.
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 Opposed, motion carried. Any reports or information from the board? I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.